All right. So, one second. I'm doing the same thing, you guys, where I'm on Zoom and trying to broadcast to Facebook at the same time. So, one second. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, great. So, I'm seeing the comments come in. Could see you. Is my audio okay as well? All good for now. Hi from Texas. Okay, can see you. All right, people are saying hi. See from Mississippi, Edmonton, Alberta. Seeing a lot of familiar names here. Can you hear me? Okay, picture of sound. Vancouver. All right, Iowa. Awesome. And I see we have currently about 48 people on, so that's awesome. Love it. All right, so let's see. Okay, everyone's saying audio is fine. Perfect. All right, well, let's start officially here. I like to make note of the time I actually start. So then when I do post the replay, I like to cut off all the intro stuff here. All right, let me just get my notes here, my little bullet points. Okay, here we go. All right, everyone, let's start officially. Okay, so hi, my name is Joe Gukaskis, and welcome to day 2 of the Unleash Your Inner Psychic 5-day challenge. And I want to welcome everyone to this challenge. Yesterday we did day 1. It was really exciting to see all the energy of everyone, everyone's enthusiasm, everyone's participation, a lot of the ahas that came up just during it was like 90 minutes that we spent together. Tonight I plan on going up to 60 minutes for the lecture, and then I'll stick around for maybe another 15 to 30 minutes for just a nice Q&A, okay? Today, we are going to cover psychic protection and releasing the 3 hidden energies that are blocking your gifts now. All right. So who's excited to be learning about this particular topic, even though we haven't really talked about it yet? Like you think to yourself, like, oh yeah, I need some of that psychic protection. Go ahead and comment below. Let me know. And as well, like I said, we're going to be covering the 3 hidden energies blocking your gifts. And I could see some of you like, I am, me. A bunch of you are already doing your hashtag day 2 live. Great job. Y'all are paying attention. If you haven't already, go ahead and start to type that in as well. And let me type that in myself. Make sure to type in hashtag day 2 live or hashtag day 2 replay. And let me pin this comment here. Okay. All right. And I saw what Ivy said. I wasn't here yesterday, but glad to be here today. Awesome. And you know, for those of you who couldn't make it yesterday, you're good. I'm going to do a real quick review. Um, and you can see that I'm kind of under the weather here a little bit. Not really like a cold or anything, but I have it's got windy all of a sudden here today, and like all the pollen got kicked up, and so if you hear me sniffling here and there, my apologies in advance. I did everything I could to. I took a nap. I took some medicine. I did even that nasal rinse thing just to rinse all this pollen out. So um, ideally, I'd love to have a recording where I'm not sniffling so much, but hey, that's just how it goes. Um, so anyway, on that, let me just say, like, this is just coming up for me to share with you guys before we even get into the curriculum here. We are going to be covering just the 3 blocks, right? The hidden blocks that are blocking your gifts. And, you know, what's coming through for me to share with you right now is that, like, here I am. I had an allergy attack earlier. Like I was sneezing. I literally sneezed like 20 times in a row. Right? But I did all I could to be online with you guys today. And what I've learned, not just in life, but especially from this journey of awakening your gifts, awakening my gifts in particular, is there's this attitude that really you just have to take around being unstoppable. Okay. So let me just talk about that real quick. The energy of being unstoppable. When you open up to the psychic world, let me tell you guys something. You will encounter some weird energy. All right. You will encounter some spirit guide that you've never seen before. You might see a dark shadow that freaks you out. Right. You will encounter that. That's just the nature of opening up your psychic gifts. And let me know if some of you have already encountered that, right? Some scary energy. Well, here's the difference between you and, say, someone else, maybe at an earlier stage of their development. Just quick story. It reminds me of I remember buying this book about how to open up your gifts. Great book, right? But then I got to the part where, like, oh, meet your healing master. It's like a spirit guide that specializes in healing. But the whole concept of like meeting a being, right? I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to talk to no spirit, right? Especially not by myself. I got freaked out. Okay. The irony, if you all have heard my story, is like I kept getting contacted by my grandmother, spirit guides, even my dead uncle. Um, Even my therapist, like her dad came through one time during a therapy session, right? So, point being, even though you're going to be encountering a bunch of stuff, right? Especially stuff that's unfamiliar, have this attitude that you're going to be unstoppable anyway. Okay. And, I really want to share this right now because there's so many talented awakening psychics that I've come across where they're like, yeah, 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 Joe, I'm gung ho. I want to open up my gifts. I want to be a super clairvoyant. I want to help people. I want to heal people. Right. But then they hit that energy and like, Joe, I'm done. I'm gone. I quit. All right. So the question is for you guys, right? Be unstoppable, right? Don't let like some weird energy stop you just because it's unfamiliar. Now, just to remind you guys, I'm teaching you the tools. Okay. Yesterday we covered grounding. What is the purpose of grounding? The purpose of grounding is to help you honor your body, right? And your physical body. I'm talking about this body right here. Your body will freak out. Okay. It's kind of like when you go to a scary movie, the scary part's going to happen, right? But even though the scary part of the movie comes up and you jump, right? Your body just automatically jumps. Literally, it's like your body has a mind of its own. Okay. But when I talk about honoring the body, just because your body freaks out, it doesn't mean that with the attitude that you could have, especially with the tools I'm teaching you, especially with what you're going to learn today with psychic protection, there's no reason to be afraid of any of that. Do y'all get that? Who cares if it's a spirit guide? Who cares if it's unfamiliar? In the world of energy, it's just energy. Okay. So if all this is making sense to me, everyone type in unstoppable, right? I'm unstoppable or hashtag unstoppable. It really is an attitude. Like it's not just about being psychic. It's the very definition of what being a light warrior is all about. Y'all get that? Okay. All right. So I'm seeing unstoppable, says Elizabeth. Holly, unstoppable. Unstoppable, says Tia. Hashtag unstoppable. All right. Delbertine, unstoppable. Okay, unstoppable. Comments are coming in really quickly here. So that's awesome. Okay. Now, with that out of the way, right? And just so you know, when I go on these things live, yeah, I have my bullet points, but just so you guys know, like I'm practically just channeling. Sometimes information wants to come through and I'm like, Okay, universe, I guess I'm going to share that. So I'm glad that this message is resonating and all of you are like unstoppable. Okay, awesome. So we're on day 2. Remember, we still have day 3, day 4, day 5 left. Now, let's get to the quick review. All right, because I know some of you are just joining me for the first time, joining us really for the first time. So let's do a quick review. It's just good to do a quick review anyway. And then I'm going to lead us through a grounding meditation, right? And then we'll get into the lecture, okay? So let me see. I'm going to share my screen again. And when I share my screen, I can't see the comments. uh, bear with me. Like, I don't usually do this very often. Do it, share on Facebook via Zoom. I don't do this very often. So y'all are learning with me here. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, and we do full screen. Right, and I have my cell phone up too, so I'm watching the video just to make sure I could see it out of the corner of my eye. Got to do what you got to do, right? Be unstoppable. Like I have to practice what I preach. All right, let me make this full screen here. All right. So this is day 2 of the Unleash Your Inner Psychic Live. And like I said, what we're going to cover today is we're going to cover psychic protection and the 3 hidden energies that are blocking your gifts now. Now, yesterday I covered, just the big picture of it all. And there's what I call the complete psychic framework. And I want to share with you just real quick review how the Unleash Your Inner Psychic Challenge fits into what I call the complete psychic framework. And I believe that there are 4 pieces, all right, to being a complete psychic. And these 4 pieces make up what I call the Psychic Awakening Mastery Method. All right, so the first part is reading mastery. And this is what I mean by reading is when you can read energy with your psychic third eye, right? And as you all know, the goal of our time together is that by day 4 and 5, you're going to start opening up your psychic third eye. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be perfect at it, right? But you're going to get a taste of it. Then once you do, the next stage is really just activating your third eye even more. And when I say what I mean by that is that what if you could use your third eye to read stuff like how to read a past life, right? How to read your Akashic records, how to read chakras. Like how many of you are interested in that? And let me see if I could see in my mobile the comments. I guess not. Oh well. At least the video is going. All right. Anyway, just making do here. So that's reading mastery. Okay. Part 1 is reading mastery. Part 2 of the Psychic Awakening Mastery Method, part 2 of what it takes to be a complete psychic is healing mastery. And this is still third eye stuff, you guys, by the way. Okay. When you learn how to heal with your gifts, I teach what's called karma-free healing, meaning you're not using your own life force energy to heal others, right? How cool would that be? There's so many healers out there, like you see them and they're worn out, right? And the reason why is because they're giving their energy, they're giving so much of their energy to heal others that guess what? They become depleted, right? But what if you could heal in such a way that's more karma free? You're not tied to their healing if they got better or not. It's more this mindset that you just give the healing, then hold space for them to heal in their own way, right? And in the process of healing mastery, guess what? You're healing yourself a lot more. And the things I teach about healing yourself, that when you can heal yourself, especially these deep hidden pictures, and like today we're going to cover 3 of these hidden energies, guess what? You become that much more effective as a healer to others, right? Many people get it reversed, like you're trying to heal others, but you haven't really worked on yourself yet, right? The true healing happens when you work on yourself first, and then you just become that much better of a healer for others. So that's part two. Part three is Spirit Guide Communications Mastery. And when you start working with the world of spirit, it's all about learning even more advanced psychic boundaries. I'm going to teach you a little bit of psychic boundaries, psychic protection tonight, but especially when you start opening up to the world of spirit. When I talk about opening up to the world of spirit, the analogy I like to use, it's like the difference between learning to swim in a swimming pool, right, versus learning to swim in the ocean, right? It's a big difference. Like at least in the swimming pool, you have something to grab onto, or at least your very tippy toes can touch the bottom, right? But when you're swimming in the ocean, that's like a whole other ballgame, right? So you notice that there's an order to this: reading, healing, and then spirit guide communications mastery. Now, I know many of you, and you could comment below, that you're already dealing with spirit guides. And, I had a student one time, she would wake up in the morning and the spirit guide would just be standing at the corner of her bed, just staring at her like, like, are you gonna talk to me anytime soon? That's why she enrolled in the program. She's like, I don't know what to do with it. It wasn't scary, but I'm like, what? Well, with Spirit Guide Communications Mastery, you're going to learn a whole other language of spirit. Okay. And what's really exciting is that you can start channeling healing energies, which, by the way, on day 5, you definitely want to be there, not only for when I do the drawing, and I'm going to talk about the drawing here in a moment, but I'm going to channel a healing energy. Last time I did one of these, like last Sunday, I did a reading clinic, and Archangel Michael came in and I channeled some healing energies from him. Okay. And then the group, I mean, they were all over the country and, US and Canada at the very least. And even though here I am in California, like they were all like, oh my God, I totally felt that. Um, like the messages that came through, the release of it all. And so, my goal for each of you is if I can do it, you can do it too. Right. But there's one more piece, and that's spiritual manifesting mastery. All right. And this is where you can work with your spirit guides to help you manifest what you want. Right. And I'm talking about creating and achieving your personal goals. But what if you could have, I call it your spirit council, right? These are like your relatives, your archangels, your ascended masters, your garden variety spirit guides, your healing guides, your Akashic record guide. I mean, there's so many that are just there waiting and willing to help you, right? So there's a whole other deeper level of healing, and not just healing, but manifesting means that you take what's in the energy world and you manifest it in our 3D reality world, right? So it's not just a good idea, right? It's something that you could actually feel, hear, touch, right? Scent. Like if like that's what I mean. Like it's real. Okay. So with this, let me just check in real quick. Is this making sense? Like all of this, the Unleash Your Inner Psychic Challenge is just the small piece of it, and that's what we're covering over these 5 days. All right, so let me just look at the comments real quick. Okay, so all this making sense. I see a yes, yes. All right. Okay, great. So anyway, I know a lot of people like to get the big picture of it all, like why are we doing what we're doing. And also, like I said yesterday, full disclosure, let me just get to the next slide here. I do have a course coming up. That's why I'm giving away this particular challenge for free. And yes, full disclosure, there is an investment involved. But what I have coming up is a Psychic Awakening Accelerator group, meaning a group of us. I'm going to take a group of us, and for the next 12 weeks, starting on October 27, we're going to go through each of these 4 stages. Can you imagine that in 12 weeks, going through, oops, the complete psychic framework, right? Going through all 4 of these: reading mastery, healing mastery, spirit guide communications mastery, and spiritual manifesting mastery. All right. So that starts on October 27. So definitely you want to stay tuned for day 5. And I have a special deal for everyone who completes all 5 days. Okay. Now, how will I know if you complete all 5 days? Oh, by the way, this deal is not found on my website. Okay. And I can't wait to share this with you guys because, like, I don't do this very often, like I said, and there's so much energy. And yeah, I mean, like, the holidays are coming around. Talking about giving a gift to yourself, like, this would be a great gift as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion. Um, all right. And then let's see. What's so just we're still doing the review here, you guys. What are we covering each day? So let me just pop these up here. Day 4, the intro is the number 1 tool you must learn, which we covered grounding, and I'm going to review that here in just a moment. Today's psychic protection, releasing the 3 energies blocking your gifts now. Tomorrow, third eye activation day. Let me know if you're excited about that, like what it is to being seeing through your third eye. Day 4 is putting it all together. We're going to practice. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read 5 people, right? So we have like 63 people today. I'd love for all 63 of you and everyone watching the replay to be there. And it's not about you getting read. It's more about while I'm reading, you're going to practice the tools that I taught you in these 3 days, right? And we're just going to take it step by step. And with the practice, right, talking about making it real, that's what will give you a taste of it all, right? And then on day 5, this is where I call ascending your psychic third eye for limitless access. So all that stuff I showed you on that 4-part matrix there, what would it be like, right? And I already gave you all a hint. Like, what if y'all could read past lives? What if you could read your Akashic record, chakras, take a look at your aura, healing, spirit guide communications, right? And day 5 is also, we're going to do a drawing to win prizes. I'm going to present you the special offer. It's a really great deal. And speaking of prizes, if you haven't already, simply comment. And this was yesterday, you guys. So let me just go ahead and update this. Complete all 5 days of the challenge to win prizes. Simply comment day 2 live or hashtag day 2 replay, and we'll see it. Literally, what I do is I just do a search, right? There's a little search thing and on the Facebook group there, and I'll see everyone that actually did their hashtags. Okay. And then what I'll do, you'll on day 5, there's going to be this wheel. I put your names in it, and then literally I just click a button, the wheel spins, and you have a chance to win one of these prizes. All right, first prize is a 90-minute deep chakra healing. It's a $250 value. And that's a real world value, you guys. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley, like Facebook is over there. It's so funny because one time I had a client who is a tech over there or something at Facebook. And she's like, I almost didn't go with you because you only charged 120. I only charged 125 at the time. This is when I first moved back to the Bay Area. She goes, I almost didn't go with you. So like I raised my prices just because of her feedback. Anyway, second prize is 60-minute psychic reading, $200 value. And then third, fourth, and fifth, a 30-minute psychic reading, $150 value each. And this drawing is going to be held Thursday, day 5, at the end of day 5. So you must be present to attend. All right. And so how many people are interested in a reading? Like, how many people would love a healing, especially a deep chakra healing where I look at all your chakras, and it's really intensive, and it's like one of my favorite things to do, when I read people, especially. All right. And like I said, I can't see the comments right now. I'll get to that in a second. And then last but not least, just as a quick review, we're already done with day 1, but the next from today until Thursday, we're going to meet 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, you guys, let me stop share real quick. Okay, so let me just check in with the comments. Like I said, I couldn't see your comments while I had full screen there. Okay, awesome. A bunch of you are like me. Yes, I love a deep chakra healing. Totally would love a reading. Second prize. Yes. Need, same. I would love a reading. Me, I want a chakra reading. I would. Okay, awesome. Day 2 live, hashtag. Well, I would be so appreciative of a reading. Okay, so the point is, you guys, you got to be there. Okay, for day 5. And I'm doing this, you guys, by the way, just it's my incentive. Like it's one thing to get the prize, but it's my incentive to, like I said, be unstoppable, like I talked about at the beginning, right? Be unstoppable, make it through all 5 days. Just because, sometimes life gets in the way. You're like, oh, I missed a day. I guess it's too late. Like, no, if you miss a day, right, catch the replay, catch up. All right. And then just do your best, clear your schedule, tell people in your life, like, yo, this is my time. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to stop preaching that. Let me get my bullet points back out. Okay. Let's do the review of yesterday. Now, yesterday, I shared this exercise that I've never really taught before in public, at least not for the challenge. Maybe I did it for some one-on-one students. And that is this exercise of what it's like to see through your third eye. Okay. And so, what I want y'all to do right now, and this is something you could do with your eyes open. Okay. This is a review from yesterday. Everyone, just go ahead and stare straight ahead. And I'm assuming a lot of you are just looking at my face on a screen of some sort. But you can even put the phone down if you're holding your phone and just stare straight ahead for a moment. And what I want you to do is literally just out of the corner of your eyes, see what's off to the side while still looking straight ahead, like you're just looking at your peripheral vision. And for me, same thing as yesterday, I still see a doorknob there. It's not the clearest picture. I could still tell it's a doorknob, but like when you look out of the corner of your eye, you just can't see very clearly anyway. And then off to my other side, I have my fish tanks here. I could see some of the fish floating around. I can't necessarily see them in the clearest way, but there's like, I just know they're fish at the same time too. Even though I'm familiar with them, at the same time, just if I was looking at it for the first time, right? It's like, okay, yeah, those are fish. Or I could see the water. I could see the outline of the tank. Now, we're going to take it a step further. What I want you to do is not only look at your peripheral, but I want you to see what's in front of you. And I want you to see what's on your peripheral vision at the same time. Okay. So take a moment and just relax into this. Have fun. Remember, one of the things I said yesterday is if you're taking this too seriously, this psychic stuff won't work. All right. And what is that like? Just like seeing at your peripheral and looking out in front of you at the same time. Like for me, I'm looking at my bullet points and I'm looking at the doorknob and I'm seeing the fish tank. And again, it's not the clearest picture off to the side, but there's still like I can make out the message of it all. I mean, the imagery of it all. Okay. All right, some of you, like I see a wall, a window, LOL. I can see pretty clearly out of my peripheral. Okay. And just go ahead and take a moment here. Just comment. Just go ahead and comment. What's it like to look out of your peripheral vision? Again, it's just review. But for those of you that are catching the broadcast for the first time, so this might be new to you. Okay. And Megan says, I've done this exercise before. Really does work. Okay, wow, that's all I can say. Very comfortable. Okay, yes, blurry, blurred. Okay, so people have different experiences of this. Okay, but just know that even if you can see clearly or like off to the side, it's not as clear, right? It's not as clear as if you're looking straight on. Okay, like if I were to look at my bullet points off my periphery, I know that they're words, but I can't necessarily read the words, if that makes sense. Okay, and Shauna says blurry, but still recognizable. Amanda, not completely clear, but like you said, you just know what it is. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna take it a step further here. I want everyone now, just go to, like for me, it's the doorknob, like just go to take kind of a memory snapshot of what's in your peripheral vision. And now what I want you to do is close your eyes and imagine that you could still see your what's in your peripheral, but this time with your eyes closed. And again, it might be the memory of the vision. You might not see it the clearest, right? Especially with your eyes closed. And yet, as you're watching and seeing with your eyes closed in your mind's eye, definitely how things show up in your mind's eye, because your eyes are closed, you're definitely not going to see it the same as with your eyes open. However, with your eyes closed, it's like learning a new language. How do things appear in your mind's eye when your eyes are closed? Okay. And so go ahead and open your eyes now. The experience many times, sometimes you'll see a super clear picture, right? Even with your eyes closed. Um, just like if you're looking straight ahead. But most times when you're watching or seeing with your eyes closed, it's like looking out of your peripheral vision. Okay. All right. So go ahead and type in, what was your experience like seeing with your eyes closed? All right. Elizabeth said, this is the difficult part, staticky and kind of dark. Okay, great. Elizabeth, just going to consider that maybe that's what you're supposed to see. Okay, that it's kind of dark, staticky. And date tomorrow, when we get into third eye activation day, we're going to talk about like what you might see, especially when when you're looking through your third eye. I see some comments here. Looks dark, lots of colors, mostly yellow, dark with a little light play. Comments are coming in really fast here. Mostly shapes, some movements, look shadowy, like drawing a picture from a memory, color, but certain objects stuck out while the others didn't. Saw my mind's eye. Have to saw my mind's eye, literal eye, not all the way open. Saw light, my peripheral. Awesome. A glass of wine. Uh, trying to trying to picture where things are. Okay, eyes closed, dark light movement. Okay, awesome. All right, you guys. Oh, negative Polaroid. Love that. All right. So here's the thing, you guys. What you see, the whole point of doing that particular exercise is what you saw with your eyes closed is going to be different than with your eyes open. All right. So a lot of times students will be like, I don't see anything. Well, it's not that you're not seeing anything. It's just how things will appear is going to be completely different with your eyes open compared to your eyes closed. Okay. So go to comment if that makes sense, right? Just even saying some kind of comment like eyes closed, just to make sure that you're following me. Hashtag eyes closed, seeing with your eyes closed or something like that. Just let me know that that's clear. And I'm just kind of catching up on the comments here. Even though I'm not reading them all out loud, I am reading all of them here. Okay, everyone's saying makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. Perfect. Okay, eyes closed, eyes closed. Yes, all right, great. And let me tell you guys, like I said, I haven't taught it in this way before. Um, Sometimes, like in the past when I've taught, it's taken literally weeks or months for people to get this concept. All right. And you guys literally have gotten it, especially if you're watching this for the first time, you gotten it in like 5 minutes. And if you saw this yesterday, like you literally got it within one day. All right. So give yourself like a little psychic pat on the back. Like you are further along than many of my more advanced students, that it literally took them weeks or months to get this. Okay. Um, all right. Michelle asked, since I was a little girl, I've always seen color red with my eyes closed. What does that mean? Guess what? Who asked that question? Michelle. Hold that question, okay? Because tomorrow, and especially on day 4 is the what does it mean, right? We're going to cover how to get the meaning of these messages and colors that you're seeing, okay? Great question. But I want to leave you in suspense a little bit. So you definitely want to show back up. All right. Let's see. Get to my bullet points again. All right. Now, let's do a little mini meditation here on grounding. And in the process of this meditation, I'm going to also be reviewing yesterday. So it's still kind of the review, you guys, but we'll review and I'll teach at the same time. Okay. All right. So I invite just if people are around you, say, hey, I need my time. This is the time to not disturb me. And I invite you now to close your eyes and I invite you to sit up, just feet flat on the floor, hands on your lap. And someone messaged me earlier. It's like, I'm in pain. Is it okay if I lay down? Yeah, that's fine. Um, we don't go in a deep meditation. That's why I don't, recommend laying down because sometimes it is easy to fall asleep, especially when you're releasing a lot of energy. When you're releasing a lot of energy, that's where it's easy to go unconscious, right? So by sitting upright, it at least gives you a chance to stay conscious. All right. So grounding. Why do we ground in the first place? Well, it's a way to honor your body and it's a way to relax your body. So before doing any kind of energy work, I tell people to breathe, right? Just breathe. And everyone take 3 deep belly breaths and eyes closed. And I know it's Monday. A lot of you have had work to deal with. It took a lot for, many of you to even be here tonight. So go ahead and just thank your body for what it did for you today to get you here. And at the same time, honor your body by just taking a few deep cleansing breaths. Awesome. Now, what I want you to do in your mind's eye, imagine that you could see a green ball of energy right at the base of your spine that's as wide as your hips. And again, just like looking out of your peripheral vision, you may see a really clear green ball of energy, or you just might see a flash of it, or might look blurry, or like looking out of the corner of your eye, your peripheral. And imagine now that this green ball of energy has weight. So literally, it just drops to the center of the planet, drops down, 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 leaving behind a green tube of energy. And this green tube of energy is as wide as your hips. And we call this a grounding cord. And there's 2 purposes for the grounding cord. One is to help you feel connected, help the body to feel safe. And just like the trees that are rooted outside, like even for me in my area, it's super windy, but because the trees are rooted, the trees are safe, they won't fly away. And when you start opening up to the spiritual world of all this psychic energy, it is easy to feel really floaty. So by giving yourself this grounding cord that helps your roots stay rooted, then no matter what energy comes your way, by being connected to Mother Earth especially, helps the body to feel safe, secure, and grounded. Now, the second purpose is to help you release. So go ahead and just take a psychic scan of your body, your aura, your space. And we'll talk about the aura here in a moment. And imagine that if there's any energy that feels heavy or staticky or faded, just foreign energy that shouldn't be there. You might see them as little dots, you might see them as sludge, maybe little squares, or might see just work projects even. And they might show up as dark colors or super white, staticky light, or any faded version of any color, faded blue, faded purple. Imagine now that those have weight and that gravity could take hold and that you could send those down your grounding cord. It's kind of like taking a heavy brick and just dropping it down into a deep well. And you're just watching that brick go down, 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 all the way down. And in this case, watching all these energies that are in your space just go down your grounding cord all the way down to the center of the planet, about 5,000 miles down. And when it does get to the center of the planet, it all just goes, just turns to dust. And as more and more of your that foreign energy is leaving your space, you might feel lighter as you release more and more. And you don't want to force it. You're just going to release what you're ready to release. And everyone take one more deep breath, and on the out breath, allow yourself to release just that little bit more. And now go ahead and just validate the space that even though you're imagining this, there's new space that you created in your bubble, in your body. And when I say validate, all I mean by that is that even though you're playing around with your imagination, even though you're imagining it, you could actually feel it. You could feel lighter. You could feel the movement of the release. And you could sense the space newly created. Now, why is it important to have the space and be clear? Well, a lot of times your gifts are just blocked by a lot of foreign energies. So when you could clear in this way, then you could tap into your gifts much more easily. The thing is, though, you don't want to just leave the space empty because you don't want any old energy getting in. So now the next step is to create a big gold sun up above your head, about 3 feet up above, and have this gold sun be about 3 feet tall, 3 feet wide. And we use gold because gold is a nice high vibration. And go ahead and take your psychic finger and write your name in magnetic ink. And by doing so, you're tuning the gold sun to your energy that's unique to you and only you, the whole entire universe. And imagine that the gravitational pull of this gold sun can just call all your energy back from your day, your week, from other people, places, projects, clients, from this lifetime, from past lives, other universes, other dimensional realities, from the astral. Just let the gold sun do all the work for you. And as more and more of your energy back, you might see this gold sun get larger and larger. And when that gold sun's all nice and full, go ahead and imagine now that this golden light of your own energy can pour in through the top of your head, through your crown chakra up above you, and pour into your body, just filling in every single cell. Literally see all millions and millions of cells being filled in with the golden light. as well as all your chakras, your energy channels, your bubble, your aura around you. And just really breathe in this golden light. And then when you're all filled up, go ahead and open your eyes. And I advise you to stretch out here, you guys. All right, one moment. I'm going to put y'all on mute. I'm going to stop the. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had to blow my nose a little bit. Didn't want y'all to see that. All right, being unstoppable. All right, just keep pushing forward. All right, so I'd love to get your comments. How was that meditation? So, if this was new to you, we covered the grounding cord, we covered releasing energy, getting clear, and creating gold sun to call your energy back, and then fill yourself in. All right, so go ahead and okay, I already see the comments coming in. Great. Yeah, just go to type in what was that like for you? All right, Zelina says, wow, amazing. Megan says, my head feels lighter. Um, felt like a balloon. All right, saw purple. Love that meditation. Felt awesome, relaxing, great, great. I love grounding. It's refreshing. Thank you, Joe. Okay, perfect. All right. So literally, you guys, when you do this exercise, right, starting with breathing, right, always honor the body first, but then grounding. This literally is the foundation for any energy work. Just not only just tapping into your gifts, right, but for any energy work that you do. Okay. All right. Let's see. Christina, yeah, there's a replay. So sorry that your video is freezing up, but yeah, there'll definitely be a replay after. Amanda says the sun felt warm, and I literally saw. Oh no, I lost the comment. Saw bigger and bigger. Awesome. So that's what we call validation, you guys. Even though this is your imagination, like you felt the warm sun, right? That's what we call validation, and that's what makes this energy stuff real. All right. Jan says sleepy. Yeah, all good. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is why I want you to sit upright, because if you were laying down, yeah, people will fall asleep. All right, yawning, awesome. That's a sign of release. If y'all are yawning, tears, like that happens a lot, that's a sign of release. Which, by the way, you guys, I don't usually point it out this early, but all that releasing stuff, guess what? You just gave yourself a healing, right? From grounding, all this clearing and the movement of energy, that's actually a healing. All right. So guess what? You experienced a healing for yourself just in 5 minutes. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's read this last one. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes when if you, especially if you've had a lot of stuck energy, you guys, when you do finally release it and release it in this way, yeah, sometimes it might come across as like a pain. Even for me in the beginning, I used to get nauseous a lot, but it's really because it's the sign of releasing. Okay. So just stay with it. The pain, the nausea, the discomfort, the throbbing in third eye, after a few minutes, it'll all subside. Okay. So just kind of be with it. Remember, being unstoppable, right? Stay with it. But, don't be uncomfortable either, right? But just know that some of this will subside. It's kind of like when you get a paper cut, you guys, it's uncomfortable, right? But even though it's healing, it's still itchy. Well, healing is not always comfortable in that regard, right? It'll itch like crazy. Okay. So, for those of you, if you do start to feel a little discomfort, in a way that's a good sign, because it means you're releasing, it means you are healing. All right. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Everyone type in the word healing if that makes sense to you. All right. I feel warm and fuzzy right now. Awesome. So for some of you, it's going to feel really great too. So that's great. All right. Let me get my bullet points out here. So let's get to the new stuff here. All right, which one do I want to teach first here? Yeah, let's talk about the three hidden energies. Okay. We're going to talk about the three hidden energies blocking your gifts now. Well, guess what? In that opening meditation, I actually already gave you a preview. All right. Um, Whenever you have any of that heavy stuff, it might feel staticky even, or like just something feels off, or just like a foreign energy. A lot of times, those energies that just feel off, right? Those are exactly the energies that will block your gifts. Now, I want to break it down a little bit further for you guys. What exactly are the three energies to pay attention to? And I like to teach these three energies just because when you could start to distinguish the three energies, in a way, when you could distinguish it, you are doing a reading. Okay, does that make sense? When you can start to distinguish these things, that is a reading. All right. Look, you said still yawning. That's great. That means you're still releasing. So you're still healing, right? Now, what are these three energies? Well, the first energy, or I'll just say a classification of energy. The first classification of energy is it's either your energy or it's not your energy. So let me just type that in here. Number one, your energy, not your energy. All right, so this is the first classification. Now, the hidden energy that's blocking your gifts, guess which one of those would be the ones blocking your gifts? Would it be your energy or not your energy? It's if it's not your energy. Okay. So just go ahead and everyone close your eyes for a moment. Just close your eyes. And, earlier I had you take a psychic scan of your space. And go ahead and just scan your space for anything not your energy. And maybe a memory, you'll know it's not your energy because maybe a memory comes up. I remember when I used to work in corporate, I had a hard time with my boss, and he was that type of person. He really controlled you by throwing his energy at you. And I remember when he'd throw his energy, like I could feel his energy in my space, and I didn't like it. It was not my vibration, right? So even if it's someone you love, I just want y'all to get this. Even if it's someone you love, right? You love their energy. When you get too much of that, right, gets in your space, it's still not your energy. Right. So take a scan for yourself. Whose energy might it be? Zelina just said it's my mom, right? It could be your boss, it could be your kids. I know many of you have kids. I have like two nieces and a nephew. Every time I'm around them, like all their energy gets in my space. They're like, uncle, uncle, uncle. All right. So you can open your eyes. That classification of energy, either your energy or not your energy. When it's not your energy, okay, that could be a hidden block to your gifts. All right. So, go ahead and ground all that out, release that. All right. And Blaze, the whole what does it mean question, we're actually going to cover that tomorrow. Right. And it's so funny, you guys, because y'all are starting to see images already and all that. And it's always the question, what does it mean? What does it mean? That's definitely what we're going to be covering tomorrow. Okay. So stay tuned. I want to leave you in suspense a little bit. All right. But let's just really focus on this whole not your energy. All right. Stephanie says, I'm an empath. I struggled for a while with being an energy sponge. I'm so happy I finally learned how to figure that out. Yeah, especially for empaths. Oh my gosh, you're talking about other people's energies, right? Not your energy. That's a huge challenge for a lot of empaths. All right. So, number two, it's number two classification is this energy is either in present time or not in present time. Okay, so guess what? When things are in present time or when the energy is not in present time, guess which one is more likely to block your gifts? I think you all start to get the point here, right? When it's not in present time, okay? Meaning when you have stuck energies from the past, or maybe you're stuck on a thought, right? How many of you like just this morning? I was driving my mom to one of her appointments, and this guy cut us off, right? And for the longest time, I just could not let it go. I'm like, oh my god, that a hole. Sorry for my French, but I'm like, oh my god, look, he was so close, cutting us off. It was rush hour traffic. I'm like, come on, and I just couldn't let it go, right? And after a while, I just had to reground myself because I had to pay attention to the road. But that's a perfect example of not in present time. All right. Now, here's the deal, you guys. When you get these visions, you're being present, right? But if any of your energy is stuck in the past, or maybe you're thinking about that vacation in the future, well, guess what? If you're anywhere else but being present, then that will be a block for you. Okay, maybe you haven't thought of it in this way, but that is what blocks people from their gifts is that they're not present. All right, so let me see. Let me know if this is making sense here. Of in present time, not present time. Just type in present time if all this is making sense. All right, Blaze. Sorry to hear about your husband. But your question is, my husband, let me see. My husband was killed in April. I can't seem to accept it or move on. Will that block me? If so, how do I fix it? You know what, Blaze? And this is for anyone that's really stuck on where you just feel stuck, right? Sometimes the best thing you could do is just be supremely present with the stuckness. All right. So honor your pain, honor how you feel, honor the grieving, right? Honor the emptiness that you feel. Okay. Honor those things that you feel like you can't even accept. Just honor that. Be present with that. And then, you know, it's kind of like an itch. I hope this is a bad analogy, but that's what's coming to me. Sometimes you have an itch, right? But you can't scratch it. But what happens to the itch after a while? It does dissipate over time. Does that make sense? Okay, so sometimes all you could do is just be present with it. Okay. But guess what? Maybe there's like a spiritual practice to it all. Like a lot of traditions, meditation is all about being present. Okay, so Blaze, sorry to hear. And at the same time, what if you could use this as an opportunity to help you be present, right? And what a way to honor your husband's passing by just being present. And then the other thing you could do, and this for everyone, like if you have relatives that recently passed away, um, give them a hello as a spirit. I know that might be hard, but when you could give them a hello as a spirit, that helps them recognize themselves that they passed on. Okay. A lot of times when, especially if they die suddenly, they like, oh, I used to have a body, I don't anymore. They get disoriented, right? So there's this whole transition period of it all. Okay. Anyway, I went off on a tangent a little bit. Sorry about that, but hey, I'm just being present with what's there to share right now. So talking about being present. So let me get in present time with the comments. Blaze says, thank you. You're so welcome. Okay, great. So that's number two, you guys. So number one, it's either your energy, not your energy. Number two, it's either in present time, not in present time. All the ones that are not your energy, not in present time, those could be hidden blocks for your gifts, you guys. Now, what's the final one? The final one this is just an energy classification, is when energy is in motion versus not in motion. All right. So let me just type that in here. Number three, in motion, not in motion. So guess which kind of energy will be a block for you? In motion or not in motion, right? When energy is not in motion, of course, right? That's another way to say that. It's just a stuck energy. So, a lot of times, especially like to say this deep 90-minute deep chakra healing, what I'm going to do when I go through that reading is literally I'm just looking at each one of your chakras, right? I'm looking at, oh, look, I see a dark energy there, or I see a dark brown, or I see like a dark purple spot, or I see a really staticky energy in your, and it's not moving. So when things aren't moving, and especially like if you just have like a stuck energy in your third eye, oh, it's not moving. Guess what? That's a block. Obviously, right? So you're like already not in motion. Now, when it is in motion, right? Especially when something was stuck and then now it's in motion, guess what? All those stuck things that are now in motion, when they do get in motion, isn't that the very definition of what a healing is? Okay. So when you were grounding earlier, all those stuck energies in your space, when you grounded them out, guess what? Now they're in motion. They're no longer stuck, right? Now you're more clear. Now you're less blocked. So let me know if this is making sense to you guys. Just go ahead and say in motion if this is making sense to you guys, right? In motion when energy's in motion and not in motion. And a lot of you are saying yes, yes. You're like, definitely not in motion. That's what will block you. Okay. All right. Great. And I know there's like a slight delay between when I'm saying something and when you guys get to type stuff in. All right. So the next thing that you might be wondering is now how? How do you distinguish if that's in present time, not in present time, if it's yours or not yours, or if it's in motion or not in motion? Well, Rosa just said in motion. Uh, I love how you explain this. Okay, great. I'm glad that this is landing you guys. Now, earlier when I said one of the reasons why we're distinguishing the three ways is because when you could tell the difference, you're doing a reading. Okay. And that's what we do as psychics, right? You see the energy, you distinguish it. That's a reading. All right. So imagine this will be sometime, we're going to practice this more tomorrow. But imagine reading someone else and you're like, whoa, I see this energy in your space. Huh, it's not bright. It doesn't look like your energy. Okay, that's distinguishing you guys. All right. So the next question is, how do you distinguish it? Well, put it this way. If it's your energy, if it's in present time, if there's a lot of movement, when you look at it via your third eye, it's going to appear really bright, especially when it's your own energy. You're doing a reading on someone, it's going to show up as a really bright pastel version of any color. So a bright pastel yellow, a bright pastel purple, bright pastel orange, green, whatever, right? However, when someone else's energy gets in your space and you're looking at it clairvoyantly, seeing it with your third eye, the way it'll appear, the way it will appear is it will appear as either faded, a staticky version of the color, or just like it comes across like a really heavy energy as well. Okay. So earlier when I had you do the grounding exercise, when I said, hey, scan your space and see if you have any stuck energy in your knee, your shoulder, your chakras, right? And I said, scan for those dark energies, scan for the faded energies. Really what you were scanning for was all those energies that were not in present time, not your energy, or not in motion. All right. So in a way, you guys, you already did this. All right. So how cool is that? Right. You already, in a way, you read yourself. Y'all get that? You already read yourself. So just type in like really cool, if that makes sense to you, like this whole thing about just reading yourself. All right. And let me know if this is all making sense to you guys. Like I'm spending time on this because by the time we get into tomorrow's lecture, we're going to be looking at this stuff more in depth. All right, Megan, sadly, right? Remember, what is the energy we're playing with here? amusement, exploration, all right? And remember, be willing to see things differently, be willing to explore. So if it doesn't show up as color, how does it show up for you? Or maybe there's an expectation of how you think it should show up, right? But part of being like a kindergartner is like you don't know any better, right? There's nothing to compare to. So remember, lots of amusement, have fun with this, nothing sad. But then again, I get it. I get the frustration of it all at the same time too. Okay. So but you're saying cool, cool, rad. I feel like I didn't do a great job of reading myself. Angela, same thing. All right. It's not about, don't watch out for the judgment, you guys. Okay. Like, what did you see? Okay. Did you just see a flash of it? Did you see a glimmer of it? That's fine. All right. This is all about exploring, having fun. Fall off the bike, you guys. And just like a kid would do, they get right back up. Remember, be unstoppable. All right. Remember, all right. And y'all type in unstoppable too. Just remind yourself, unstoppable. All right. Justin says, don't get discouraged, Sloan City. Love that. Okay. All right, you guys. So now let's move on to the final piece that I want to teach you guys tonight, and that is around psychic protection. All right, I see unstoppable. Awesome. I love this. There's a slight delay between when I say it and then the comments show up. All right, let's get to the last and final piece here, you guys. And I'm running longer than I expected. My apologies. But yeah, either way, I always allot 90 minutes, right? But then after the 90 minutes, if you all have questions, I'm going to stay. I'm going to stick around. Okay. I'll answer every single one of your questions. All right. While I'm live, you may as well ask what you can. Okay. Um, all right. I love this unstoppable. Like y'all are inspiring me because I'm like, oh my God, my sniffling. I feel bad. Like I don't want this to be on the recording, but hey, that's just what it is. All right. Psychic protection, you guys. Aaron, I invite you now to just close your eyes for a moment. And I'm just going to teach this more in a meditation, okay? Exploratory meditation. Now, again, when you are seeing with your eyes closed, all right, when you're seeing with your eyes closed, remember, it's like looking out of your peripheral vision, kind of like how I'm seeing the doorknob out the corner of my eye. It's like it's the outline of a doorknob. I know it's a doorknob, but I don't see it the most clear. Now, what I want you all to imagine and just take a look at is imagine that there's a bubble, like you're in the middle of a bubble. You're in your chair and you're surrounded by just like you're sitting in the middle of a bubble. And imagine that this bubble is actually your aura. Now, just very quickly, what is the aura? Well, your aura is simply your energy field around you. Now, just go ahead and see how it shows up for you, the bubble. Perhaps what color does it show up as? Maybe you see the outline, the edge of the bubble. Maybe you only saw a flash of it. In any case, whether you see it or not, just imagine, even if you can't see it the most clearly, imagine how it would show up if you were to imagine it. How would it show up if you were to imagine it? Great. Now, what I want you to do is take it a step further, and everyone keep your eyes closed here. And imagine now that you could find the edge of this bubble. All right. And what I want you to do is imagine that you could take your psychic hands and imagine that you could polish the edge of your aura, kind of like polishing glass. And you're smoothing out the edge of this bubble. And the edge of your aura is in front of you, above you, below you, to the left of you, to the right of you, even behind you. Just take a moment, just play. Again, you're like a kid in kindergarten, smoothing it out the edge of your aura there, the edge of your bubble. Now, while you're doing that, you know, just another way to relate to your aura is imagine a big boulder sitting in the middle of a desert, hot desert sun. And you walk close to the boulder and you put your hand near the boulder. You're not touching the boulder, but you put your hand near the boulder and you can feel the heat coming off of the boulder. Well, in a way, that's what your aura is like. It's like that energy field around you. Even though you're not touching your aura, you can't necessarily feel your aura per se, or you can't see your aura per se. You can definitely sense that your aura is there. Another thing about your aura is say you're standing in line at the grocery store or standing in line for tickets to a movie. And there's always that person, right, that stands too close behind you. And you don't even have to turn around. You just know that person's in your space. Well, guess what, you guys? That space, when they get in your space like that, that is your aura. So what you're doing, you guys, right now by smoothing at the edge of your bubble here, you're actually smoothing the edge of your aura. Now, go ahead and just complete that when all that's nice and smooth, when you're done with that. What I want you now to acknowledge is that what you just smoothed out, what you just established, the edge of your aura here, this edge of your aura, this is now going to be your psychic boundaries. All right, so just go ahead and give a silent hello. And when I say hello, it's just an acknowledgement. Just give a silent hello or a silent acknowledgement and just silently say to yourself, my psychic boundaries. And not only say it to yourself, but say it to the universe, my psychic boundaries. And just go to validate now the power of that declaration. And really just validate that whatever is on your side of the edge of your aura is your world, it's your universe. And whatever's on the outside of your aura, that's the rest of the world, that's the rest of the universe. And at least for the next, just the remaining time that we're sitting here together tonight, just have it be that you are only going to be interested in what's going on the inside of your bubble. Everything else going on the outside, just leave it be for now. It's going to be there no matter what. But at least when you're in your psychic space, all you need to be worried about is what's going on inside your bubble. Right. And some of you are talking about intense heat. There's a lot of movement, you guys. Talking about energy in motion. That's a lot of times when energy is in motion, you might feel it as heat. So that's another form of validation there. All right. So one more step, you guys. I want you to imagine that you could create a gold sun right up above your aura now. Same thing, write your name in magnetic ink, call your energy back, see what else comes back. You've had lifetimes of energy. And make this gold sun as big as your aura. And now what I want you to do is fill in your bubble. Fill in your bubble with your own energy. And as you are, just going to validate what it's like to be surrounded by your own energy. It's kind of like being a golden light bulb of your own energy. Breathe that in and really validate that it's your energy, that it's your energy in present time. Validate the movement of the energy coming into the bubble. And at the same time, just seeing how it all appears. Remember, it's all like a blur. It's like looking out of your peripheral vision. You might see a bunch of colors, might see a lot of movement, but even if you just see a flash of it, that's perfectly fine at this stage. Now, when you're all filled up, I want you all to open your eyes. And now I want you to really stretch out, come out of that trance. And welcome back. All right. So I saw a bunch of you type in your comments. Awesome. So just go ahead and type in what was that like for you? A, to establish your psychic boundaries that way. Okay. So what I had you do is literally polish the edge of your aura with your psychic hands. And then that edge of your aura, that is your psychic boundary. Okay. So let's see. I'm just reading some comments. That was awesome. I was happy you're there. I loved it. I was scrolling up a little bit too. Being in a golden ball of energy with rainbows. Saw a lot of red, getting messages. I'm supposed to be doing this exercise. So someone said bouncy ball. All right. Very interesting colors. Loved it. Looks like a lava lamp. Oh, yeah, that's great. Lava lamp, release, dizzying. All right. So the dizzying piece, everyone, if you are dizzy, remember ground. You got to ground. Okay. Um, let's see. Security screen flashing pictures and slide motion. My aura is white gold, awesome, relaxing, didn't feel heat, just a calm. Yeah, everyone's gonna experience this all differently, you guys. Lakia, like a baby swimming in amniotic fluid. Love that. Uh, sometimes you guys, you don't have like a description for the energy. Sometimes there's just no words for it. But if you could come up with an analogy, just like Lakia did there, sometimes that's like talking about painting a picture. Like y'all get that, right? Like a baby swimming in amniotic fluid. Frankie felt static around me. Okay, yeah, everyone's different, you guys. Infinity symbol swirly. Wow, seeing absolutely beautiful yellow, blue, pink, such heat, love the gold sun beaming down, wonderful heat was beating faster, but in a good way. Wow, awesome. Okay, thanks for sharing. All right, you guys. Now we have one more. So that's psychic boundaries, you guys. Okay. Now we have one more exercise, and it's around psychic protection. So we're finally getting to the psychic protection. Wait, hold on. Okay. So there's one tool that you're gonna, you know, be learning from me, especially when you decide that you want to join my more advanced training. And this is the way I was taught. We use a rose. Okay. Now, just everyone take a look at the rose, and for just a moment here, just kind of look at the rose with your peripheral vision, right? So you might have to turn your head to the side. All right. So like even for me, when I look at it at my peripheral vision here, I'll put it closer to the camera so y'all good in case you're on a small screen. Just see the rose out of your peripheral vision. Okay. Kind of take a snapshot of that, like in your mind's eye. Now, what does this rose have to do with anything? Well, what I'm gonna have you do, I'm gonna have you go back in meditation in a moment. But what I'll have you do is I'm gonna right at the edge of your aura, you're gonna place this rose, right? So imagine that this is the edge of your aura. You're gonna place the rose right on the edge, okay, like this. And by doing so, it gives you a visual symbol, as if to say, you're going to have this rose right in front of you at the edge of your aura. And earlier I had you declare like these are my psychic boundaries, right? But we're adding to that this rose to not only define your boundaries more, but where the psychic protection piece comes in is when any energy comes your way, you're going to imagine that it goes into the rose. Okay. Instead of going into your bubble, it goes into the rose. So imagine this is like a sticky rose or a vacuum rose, right? That even if energy comes from behind you, like the rose is so capable, it'll catch that foreign energy. All right. So the visual of it, that is what's going to be your psychic protection. Meaning, if any energy comes your way, the rose will catch it. All right. Does this make sense? Put protection rose, right? Type in protection rose if this makes sense to you. And yes, Katie, rose, Holy Mother, a lot of spiritual traditions, religions use roses. So it's a very powerful symbol. Okay. At least that's how I was taught. And that's how I'm teaching you guys. Okay. All right. Protection rose. Okay, so you guys are getting it. Protection rose, protection rose. Uh it's a negative sponge, right? Love it. Okay. Okay, great. So now let's get a meditation, you guys. I'm gonna walk you through just a visual. It's a fun visual, right? Have lots of amusement when I lead you through this visual. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna close your eyes and just go and reestablish your grounding and go ahead and just re-acknowledge the edge of your aura. And again, you're just looking out as if you're looking through your peripheral vision. And imagine now that the rose is right on the edge of your aura in front of you. All right. And just declare to yourself once again, whatever's on your side of the rose, just say, this is my world. And whatever's on the outside of the rose, just silently declare, like, that's the rest of the world. That's the rest of the universe. At least for the moment, I'm only going to be concerned about what's in my world. Now, go ahead and take your psychic protection rose down, right? Just kind of let it go for a moment. And I want you to, with lots of amusement, you guys, with lots of amusement, I want you to imagine like a heated argument that you've had with someone recently. Not too heavy, but it could just be like an argument, or maybe there's a misunderstanding. And just go ahead and imagine it like a movie out in front of you playing out. There's person A, maybe you're person A, there's person B. And go ahead and just imagine that in the process of the argument that you're throwing energy at each other. All right. And then just take a look as you're throwing energy at that person, see that energy going into that other person's bubble. And likewise, that person's throwing energy at you. See that going into your bubble, that other person's energy. All right. And then just let the movie play out and see how it ends up. Maybe there's hurt feelings between the two of you, or it got extra heated the more energy got thrown at each other. Now, imagine you could rewind the video. And now what I want you to do is imagine that there's now a protection rose at the edge of your aura. Don't worry about the other person, but just your own aura. Remember, you're only concerned about your own world. Now go ahead and press play once again. And now I want you to imagine that this person is throwing energy at you, but instead of going into your bubble and your aura, now just going into the rose instead. So your space is nice and protected. And just let this movie play out. And you might notice that it diffuses the situation, doesn't it? The more you let it play out. And it might be a totally different outcome. So this is the value of having psychic protection. Now, I had you look at an argument just because it gives you a charged picture. But what I want you to imagine now is that what if this were a reading? You're reading someone. So if you're reading someone, when people come into a reading, right, they're carrying a lot of stuff with them. They're carrying all their baggage, they're carrying all their pain, they're carrying all their agony. That's why they come to psychics, because they need healing, they need answers. Well, a lot of times you're going to be reading someone and their energy can totally get in your bubble. But like you covered earlier, if energy is not in present time, not your energy, it's a stuck energy that gets in your space, guess what? That's what will block you when you're trying to read someone else. So now you could see the value, the importance of having this little psychic protection rose, that instead of it getting to your bubble, it goes into the rose instead. All right, now go ahead and create that gold sun, fill yourself in, fill in your bubble. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come on out of trance, stretch out once again. And go ahead and just comment. What was that like? Like, what was the original fight or argument? And then what was it like for you to do it with a protection rose, psychic protection rose? Okay, so go ahead and take a moment to type that in. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to have to put you on mute again. And all right, again, thanks for bearing with me, you guys. Yeah. All right, so let me see. See the comments here. Oops. Oh, there we go. Justin, I felt the actual tension in my body from the heated movement. Just leave. Felt good. Awesome. Angela, love the psychic protection, the rose of, well, the psychic protection rose. Felt pretty unstoppable. Absolutely. Yes. Psychic protection rose. Wow. Amazing. Different outcome. Rose diffused it all like a boomerang, palpable. All right. So guess what, you guys? You could use this out in life, not just in your reading space, out in life, right? Let me just tell you one quick story, and then we'll hit a completion time. And then after that, I'll do a Q&A. I used to talk about that boss, right? Again, he was so used to throwing energy at the people that work for him. One day we were just talking, and I just did this more energetically, right? My eyes were open. I wasn't even in meditation, but I imagined that there's this protection rose out in front of me. And there he was. He's so used to controlling people by throwing energy at him, but I put this protection rose out in front of me. Funniest thing, right? As soon as I did that, he was yelling, 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 and then the protection rose was up, and then he literally stuttered his words. Like, he the energy didn't get in my space, and it threw him off, right? So even though it was just in the world of energy, it's so funny because he's like, okay, Joe, whatever, just go. He literally could not control me anymore. Okay, so use this out in life, you guys. All right. So anyway, let's summarize here what we learned today. First, we distinguish the three hidden energies. It's either your energy or it's not. It's either in present time or it's not. And it's either in motion or it's not. Okay. When it's not your energy, not in present time, not in motion, Those three energies will be blocks for your gifts. Now, we covered grounding, right? When you ground, you clear. But it's not enough to be clear because stuff can get in your space, right? So you fill in with a gold sun, but even still, there you are in a reading, there you are in an argument, right? You still want to have a sense of your own psychic boundaries. So I had you polish the edge of your aura, and then I had you place a protection rose right at the edge of your aura. Okay. And the visual was that you're going to have any foreign energy that comes at you go into the rose instead of your aura. All right. So let me get some comments. What is it like to establish your psychic boundaries in this way, psychic protection in this way? Pretty cool. Just type in cool, love this. Sarah saying this is a game changer. All right. And all right, we'll get to a Q&A here in just a moment, you guys, but let's just finish up what the lecture part here. Gilbertine says, it's like the art I see. Awesome. Blaze, freeing. Nathan loved it. Lakia, it's amazing. Amanda, bulletproof. Elizabeth, I got to work on this more. Yeah, totally, guys. So this is your homework, okay? From tonight until we meet again tomorrow. Go to work, be with your kids, whoever, right? Even your spouse. Play with the protection rose, play with your boundaries. Even if it's with people you love, sometimes with people you love, you need even more boundaries. Right? Um, so I see a bunch of you saying, cool, gonna have to practice this. I like this. This was reassuring. How many times do you need to put a protection rose in a 24-hour period? Yeah, great question. So sometimes you'll just take a psychic look at it. If you see the rose is all worn out, explode it, give yourself a new one. Let it go, give yourself a new one. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, at least for the lecture, at least for the recording, I'm gonna go ahead and say, thank you for joining. All right. We're gonna complete our time together here now. Definitely make sure to show up tomorrow, same time, same place. Tomorrow's third eye activation day. And guess what, you guys? The work that you did yesterday, today, all the pre-training, if you were there for the pre-training, even if you didn't do the pre-training, all of the stuff that you worked on so far lead you up to set you up perfectly for tomorrow. Okay. So I can't wait to bring you that material. In the meantime, make sure to do your homework, practice. The replay will be available so you can listen to this maybe on your lunch break in your car, maybe just fast forward to the good parts. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and complete the lecture piece of it now. Okay. So if any of you have to go, feel free to go. But if any of you want to stay, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have now. So we'll just do a Q&A. I'll stick around for about 15 more minutes here, you guys. While we're live, you may as well ask. Many of you have just been, on your own for so long, right? So go ahead and do me a favor. Just if you had a question from earlier, just copy paste it. A, lets me know that you're still here, and B, it's easier for me to find the questions. All right, you guys, for those of you that do have to go, thanks again. I'll see you all tomorrow. But for those of you that are here just want to stick around for the Q&A, I'm happy to stick around. I'd love to answer all your questions here. Okay, so just go ahead and copy paste, you guys. All right, Nathan has a question. I was curious about charging my amethyst mala necklace for protection purposes in the same manner. Nathan, absolutely. Where's my necklace? That's my necklace. Smoke quartz. I forgot what this blue thing is. If anyone knows what this blue thing, I just go with what I get drawn to, you guys. This one's like this green one is like an alien thing. I forgot the name of this too. It's like from a meteorite or something. Anyway, yeah, to your question, yeah, charging them. Really, when it comes to any kind of protection, whether it's the rose, whether it's a crystal, right? If you guys can't see it, but like I got a dozen crystals out in front of me. It's all about the intention, you guys. Okay. It's all about the intention of the protection. yes, you could charge them. You could put them out in the sun, charge them that way. If you have other crystals, like this is a selenite stick supposed to soak up foreign energies from crystals. Really, what the most important part of it all is like the energy of the intention of it. Okay. And yeah, like I said, I have dozens of crystals all around me. I use these for protection. I have one right in front of my computer screen because there's so much energy from the computer screen. Whatever it takes, you guys. And with crystals in general, my guidance for that is go with whatever calls to you, right? Like I found this one. I keep forgetting the name, you guys. You guys keep telling me, and I keep forgetting because I just go withdraw the energy of what I get drawn to. But this to me was very grounding. It's like it soaks up energy, it just helps to also ground the space. So I don't know. That's my take on crystals, you guys. But yeah, in the same manner, Nathan. Okay, Elizabeth, can you explain what you visualize when you're connecting with your mediumship? This just struggled for me. Just curious. Yeah, it's more advanced, okay? And I don't teach mediumship per se. I've taken mediumship classes, but basically just the back of your head here, or from the top of your crown, back of your head, back of that's your trance medium channels. And basically you want to make those clean, okay? And the idea is when energy comes into your space that you're channeling, it comes in through your crown, back of your head, and then if you're letting a being use your voice box, then you activate your fifth chakra there. If you're channeling a being for healing energies, then it channels out through your hands, right? So the visual is like you just see the visual coming down from the universe or whatever, comes in through your crown chakra, down your mediumship channels, and then however you express it that way. Okay. Yeah. I don't recommend everyone do that. That's definitely more of an advanced thing. Um, you definitely want to clear a lot of your pain pictures before you start channeling a being. Because the last thing you want to do, you guys, is you're channeling a being, but then the being hits a pain energy, and now both you and the being are vibrating at that pain vibration, right? Not fun. So there's a lot of healing. There's a lot of, yeah, just a lot of healing work that goes into just even being a medium. Okay. All right. It's a great question. Yeah. And if it's a struggle, it could be more of like just a healing thing that you're going to need. Blaze, why did I see spirits in robes walking by not aware of me? Spirits is funny that way. Spirits are like people, they come in all shapes, sizes. After a while, Blaze, and this is for everyone, you're going to just start trusting your intuition. And tomorrow we're going to talk about what does this all mean, right? I saw this green. What does it mean? I saw the spirit guy. What does it mean? We'll cover all that tomorrow. Okay. So what you're going to do, at least for now, my coaching is just trust your intuition. What is it about them? Just standing there, especially in robes, like what kind of robes are they wearing, right? Those are all clues, and you're just gonna just go use your intuition based on the clues that you're given. All right, Tia, how do I increase my faith in protection and dispel fear? Great question. So, one of the reasons why I said be an amusement, right, is that when you're in amusement, all that fear disappears, right? Quick story, you guys. And I told the story in my book, The Power of Amusement. One of my mom, this was when we were kids, like me and my sister, we were kids, right? Um, and my mom was leading a rosary for like her friend, her husband died or something. I think it was her husband. And we were that young, right? That I'm just too young to know any better. So it was a prayer. There was like 20 people, right? And there's a moment during the prayer, I just looked at my sister and we just started laughing, right? And my mom gave us that death stare, like, you better not be laughing right now. Totally remember that look, right? But my sister, once we started, we just could not stop laughing, right? And we're not, just like trying to stifle our laughter. But then next thing you know, one of the older kids started laughing, right? And then Next, the adults, they were trying to stifle their laughter too. And by the time the last amen happened, right? It was like amen, and then basically everyone just busted out laughing. Now, if you can imagine, this was a solemn affair, right? It was supposed to be serious. It was really sad. But let me tell you guys, that is the power of amusement. And talking about being unstoppable, right? When I said to you guys at the top, be unstoppable. Well, what if you could be so unstoppable with your amusement that just like the story I told you about being in a prayer, right? That's the power of amusement. It literally any other lower vibration literally just disappears in the midst of it. Okay. Now, Tia, as far as having faith, all right. Sometimes, and this for anyone else that's also having challenge with your faith and all this, sometimes you just gotta put your foot down and be like, uh-uh, this is for me. This is happening. Universe, now is the time. Right. So when I talked about at the top, this message came through about being unstoppable. I wasn't going to talk about being unstoppable, you guys, but for some reason that message just wanted to come through today. Maybe Tia, this message was specifically for you and everyone else that can relate to this. Part of being unstoppable is all about the declaration. Y'all get that? Right? You declare it. And so it is, and so it shall be. Right? So what's your faith in God? What's your faith in universe? And not that this is a religious thing, but really a faith is a declaration. So it is, and so it shall be. Is all that making sense? All right. Sorry, guys. I saw like 40 comments came in since I was talking. uh, okay, and I'm like 6 minutes behind you guys. I'll try to answer as many as I can here. Lakia, how do I stop what seems to be my thoughts being projected to those unwanted? Yeah, great question. Maybe that's one of the things I should add in. I wasn't planning on teaching this tomorrow, but I'll teach you all a new tool for that. Okay, Lakia. So yeah, I'll teach you a new tool how to clear your thoughts, clear these extra energies other than just grounding. Okay. But for now, what you want to do is just ground those thoughts. Imagine you could see a picture or color, those thoughts as a color. A lot of times thoughts show up as really staticky energies. So imagine you could just release all that static. Okay. But tomorrow I'll teach you all another tool. So thanks for that question. Charlie, can I use a psychic protection mirror also? Absolutely. Whatever you use, okay, whether it's a symbol, object, crystal, imagining a rose, right? It's all the intention that you put behind it. Let's see. Oh, there's a bunch of comments about crystals here. Yeah, one of my students, she took her crystals and she just walked into the Pacific Ocean and she bathed them in the Pacific Ocean. That's how she cleansed them. Dilbertine, if you believe you saw all angels flying in the clouds, what is that? Yeah, same thing. A lot of you guys are asking, what does it mean? What does it mean? That's what we're going to be covering tomorrow. Okay, so definitely hold on to that question. Let's see. Elizabeth saying, besides my first question, I see a lot of faces when I close my eyes. I feel they are true faces, not as much over the last 2 days. How do I connect with them? LOL. Also, haha, sorry. So many questions. Either visualize having colored, sorry, having colored severe in my hand or visualize doors when my any advice on this? Okay. Yeah. For those of you like you're seeing a lot of pictures, seeing faces, colors, all of that, right? What's going on is sometimes when you open up to the world of energy, it's like being bombarded with too much energy at once. Okay. So what you're going to do in that situation is you're just going to pick out what's the one picture that's really calling to you the most and work with that. Right. Then everything else is just kind of think of it as just noise. Right. And then the thing is, like, sometimes beings will come in, they just see an opening and like, oh my God, that person can see me, that person can hear me. And spirit sometimes wants so badly to deliver messages, right? That when they see an opening, they're like, oh yeah. So they'll just kind of get in. But that's where the psychic protection comes in, you guys. Okay. But for now, yeah, it just comes with the territory. You're just gonna, like I mentioned at the top, you're gonna see a bunch of stuff, unexpected. They make no sense, right? But after a while, you're just gonna learn how to control and pick out what's really most important. Justin says, Joe, when I go through these exercises that you're teaching us, minus the protection rows, I see you. Like you're doing the exercise with me for me, and I try to force that imagery out since we're supposed to be doing this by seeing ourselves. But yeah, I mainly saw you doing it instead of myself. That's okay, Justin. Here's a secret, you guys, to being an energy teacher is I'm saying the words, but at the same time, the practice of being a teacher of energy is you're also telepathically saying it and you're presenting a picture of it. So, Justin, you might very well be seeing also the picture that I'm presenting at the same time. All right. So, don't worry about it. Just play with it. Um, you have a different a whole other level of awareness, and that's fine. Okay. Nathan, thank you. Lots of insightful information tonight. Much love. Much love to you too, Nathan. Thanks for that. Zelina, my hair stands up. Yeah, whenever your body reacts, just think of that as a form of validation. Elizabeth said, thank you so much for touching on mediumship. I appreciate it more than, LOL, truly. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. I'm glad that was helpful. Okay. Some are just comments. I'm just more looking for the questions, you guys here. In regards to past sufferings, if someone is a reoccurrence beyond your control, but you're not worried about it,